Yes, we're back again. It's me, Agent X, and we're back with the yeah. Less of that. I'm not even on that today. Yeah, less of that. It's me again, Agent X, Black Yoda, back in the piece. We're gonna chop it up. Obviously, usually have a few questions or topics of debate and discussion. You know, we're just here for the conversation. But yeah, we're gonna chop it up today, do something a little bit different. Got a few things we're gonna talk about. But yeah, man. How's it been anyway? How's everyone's week been? You been good? Yeah? Good? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm here, man. Man, the usual. But yeah, let's get into it. So
what are you talking about today?
Do you know what? I got a few things that not even so much that I want to talk about, but just a few things that just keep coming up, and like people been kind of asking me about it. So let's touch on them. So the first thing I'm going to touch on today is Islamophobia versus racism. So when I say that, it's an interesting conversation I've been having with a few people, not just a particular person, a few people. And basically, it always seems to come up where a few Muslim people I know are under the perception that in England, because you see, it's very specific, in England, that Islamophobia is not taken as seriously as racism or anti-Semitism. Yeah. Now, obviously, when you hear that statement, it's easy to go on the back foot and just say all the obvious stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's quite a specific thing, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to really quantify it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? So I try, obviously, as I always do, to be objective. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So thinking about it and obviously trying to use different examples, what I've kind of come to the conclusion of is that obviously we know England is a historically right-wing conservative country. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So with that said, you know, any type of ism isn't really taken that seriously, to be totally honest. Yeah. So certain communities have things in place. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And have people in places. Do you know what I mean? Right. So they can affect when something affects them, or when they feel a certain way about something, they can actually actively affect it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? With racism, I kind of get the point, because obviously black people will make a lot of noise if they feel offended. Yes. That's true. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And but again, my point being is that that's exactly the point. They'll make a lot of noise. What you may get, if it's really bad, is maybe some protests and riots.
But I was gonna say, isn't that when and that is when they're told to? You understand?
And no. That's when it's no. I would say that's when it's really bad. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say, when it's really bad, because it has to be really bad for black people to be even.
It has to be media bad.
Yeah.
Because you know, like,
yeah. Well. Now in the reactionary kind of social media world that we live in, but I'm just generalizing here. I'm not talking about a specific moment in time.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I'm not talking about a specific moment in time. I'm just saying, like, so with that said, I'm saying, like, with black people, we may make a lot of noise, we may riot. Do you get what I mean? That's the worst case scenario. But if anything actually happens or changes, it's usually off the back of what they would call left-wing liberal white people getting involved and feeling sorry for us, for want of a better word. Let's just be real. So even because we don't actually have the things in place to affect it, or the people in the places.
And that's what I was saying.
Do you get what I mean? But what we do is we do unruly very well. Yeah. So again, like I say, if we feel slighted or offended, we will go off, but to no great avail, if that makes sense. Yeah. Does you understand what I'm saying? You know, so I think when people say what they're saying about people care about racism, no, people care about black people going off. Does that make sense? Do you get what I mean? So there's always that kind of, yeah, we can fuck around with them, but, you know, only to a certain point, because if it ever does come to their attention that we are taking this liberty or whatever it is, you know, and a couple of intelligent ones get hold of it, they could rile up the other ones and create something like that. So they're always kind of tripping that tightrope of like, we can take the piss out of them, but don't offend them. Which sounds crazy, but that's exactly what it is. You can take a piss out of them, but don't offend them. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that sometimes gets mistaken for people actually caring about racism.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's what I meant by told to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So somebody from the other side would say, oh, you know, people care about racism. You know, they don't do that when somebody calls someone a Muslim, whatever. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But the reality of it is it's not really actually true. Do you get what I mean? Because getting back to the point, I would argue that Muslims actually do have things in place and people in places to affect certain stuff. I would argue that.
That's true.
Do you get what I mean? You know, we can go through the people, the Muslim people in places and positions of power. We can go through them. I think you'd find there's more Muslims in positions and places of power than there are black people.
Maybe even white people from time to time.
From time to time, but generally speaking, definitely more than black.
We're talking Arabs and Arabic.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because That's what I'm saying. Because remember, and that's another part of it as well, is that, you know, Muslim isn't a race.
It isn't.
Do you get what I mean? It's a religion. So with that said, is that, like I say, it's an ideology that anybody really can subscribe to. So because of that, they are interwoven into many different facets of life. Do you get what I mean? And power structures, not just life, power structures. Do you get what I mean? Whereas black people, there's not so much so. Do you get what I mean? And if you do, it's an isolated case.
When you say the word,
it's like
black,
the black guy.
The word black, in terms of it explaining a nation, it's harder because, you know, like a lot of these words, Arabs or Chinese, or, you know, it kind of explains where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say the word black, it doesn't really explain where anyone's from, and it kind of doesn't explain their color either, because there's people that come underneath different, like Latinos that.
No. See, we're going into the nationalism thing, the nationalism over race. So, or like I used like to say is phenotype or genotype, whatever. But the point is this. So basically, when you say black, and I use that word loosely because I don't like the word itself, but when you say black, you're saying that it doesn't describe anything. Technically, you're right, because it doesn't describe a race of people as such, in the sense where, like, when you say Chinese, you think of a Chinese person, yeah? Okay, cool. But Chinese people are not a race of people. That's a nationality.
No, I agree. That's what I mean.
Yeah. No. But that's my point. That's exactly my point. So we're probably not going to agree on a word you could use to describe the people we are trying to describe. Do you get what I mean? But at the same time,
the reason why I say it is you see when it comes to Caribbean and African, there's different ways.
No. But there's been many similarities in the cultures, because many Caribbean cultures have continued African cultures. But again, let me just not stray from the point I was going to make, is I'm glad you said that about Caribbeans and Africans. But my point is, if we're saying black and we just stick to that, when we say it, we use it loosely. It's almost become like a colloquial term, really. Let's be real. It doesn't actually describe anything, but we know what we're talking about. Now, let me explain that. So what I'm saying is whatever the word is you want to agree on to describe these people, what you describe every time you say that word is people, basically what I like to call African derivatives. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about people who derive from Africa. That's what you're talking about.
That's everyone then.
No. Well, yes. Obviously. But remember, we're living in constraints that people have kind of created. So we have to, it's like, for example, like I say, I don't like to use the word black, but when I use the word black, people know what I'm talking about more so than if I start to use other terms that would probably be more suited to what I'm talking about. Do you understand? So we have to talk in these general terms because that's what people understand. You can't. Well, basically, yeah. Do you get what I mean? So we have to. It's like saying Africa. I would prefer to call it other things, but it's irrelevant what I prefer to call it. That's the general consensus, is that landmass is called Africa. So I just use it for general conversation. Do you know what I mean? If you
the only reason I said it is because I feel like the quote-unquote black people are the only ones that are like they give us that title, and then we all go into one bucket and bowl.
But that's only because the actual name that you should use has been kind of lost in time.
But when you're talking about white people, you don't immediately think England.
But that's my point. When you think black people, yeah. When you think, let me put you this way, yeah. When you say white people, you don't instantly think whatever, yeah. But if you say Caucasian, then you know now what you're talking about. Do you understand? You know exactly what you're talking about. If you say Chinese, yeah, you're talking about a nation. But if you say Asian, you now know what you're talking about.
But you might be talking about, if you say Asian in England, we kind of automatically would think Indian. If you say Asian in America, they would automatically think Chinese.
See, that's not necessarily true. I know what you mean with that. Yeah, but that's not necessarily true, because what I've found, just for me anyway, is that we are a little bit more understanding of, like, you know, other cultures and other things than possibly the Americans. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just what I found. So when you say Asian in England, we understand that it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
But the common Asian in England would be an Indian, meaning, do you get me, an Indian. Yeah. And their common Asian to them would be somebody from China or Korea or whatever, because that's but that's just, again, that's because of the volume that they have in their country. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So that's like the common Asian for them. Yeah. And the common Asian for us would be, do you get what I mean? Yeah. Growing up and whatever. But again, I don't think when you say Asian that we assume that it's only Indian people. We know that it's a whole diaspora of people, but at the same time, like you said, when we think, like, if you honing in on your, you know, stereotype, then you go to your common. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? That's what you go to. Do you get what I mean? So it's the same way, like, if you go and you say, oh, I'm Caribbean, oh, you're Jamaican, because in certain places, that's the only Caribbeans they know. They only know Jamaica, so there is no other island to them. Do you get what I'm saying? And the same thing with Africa. You be, oh, you're Nigerian, oh, you're Ghanaian. There's only 2 countries in Africa as far as they're concerned, because they only know 2 types of Africans. Anybody else, they don't even look at you as an African. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah, so this is what happens, bro, all the time. Do you get what I'm saying? But again, like I'm saying, is that, like, when we're talking about black people, again, we use the term loosely. Do you get what I mean? We know we're talking about, and obviously, yes, technically everybody comes from, if you look at it like that, everybody comes from Africa, obviously. But if we're talking about where we find ourselves now, in the groups that they've tried to group us into now, then when we say black, we're talking about anybody who is of colour or derives from, or is a derivative of Africans. Do you get what I mean? Whether that's via slavery to another island, whether that's whatever.
It helps them to dictate a narrative through the words that we call ourselves. Like you're saying, with the whole Islamic verses, do you know what I'm saying?
Of course. Of course. Remember, look, don't get me wrong, yeah. Most people, they find it hard to allow 2 things to exist in the same place. It's hard for them. So it's very easy for people to pit people against each other, because all you have to do is just turn it into a versus, basically. Science versus religion, good versus bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's real simple, black versus white. You know what I mean? Like, it's real simple. It's not hard. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah, I just think with people, they're natural competitive. Do you know what I'm saying? Nature, like we have a joke, we call it willy waving. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, that natural inclination to be like, I've got a bigger one than you. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, you can't just have pride in what you are or what you do or what you think without hating the next person or putting them down, or, do you know what I mean? Or trying to be better than them in some type of way. It's like, no, you're different from them, and that's cool. Do you get what I'm saying? And they do what they do, and that's cool. Do you know what I'm saying? But people not like that, unfortunately. So yeah.
Do you think it's changing in terms of like culturally, and you feel like cultures have changed over time?
Oh yeah. Well. Some cultures haven't changed at all, because there's people in place to maintain those cultures. Do you know what I mean? Maybe on the peripheral, it may seem like those cultures are changing, but they haven't changed one bit on the inside. Do you know what I mean? The inner workings of they haven't changed one bit. And then other cultures have changed a lot. Do you get what I mean? But those cultures don't have that core protecting it. Do you know what I mean? They don't have that same, they don't have the same level of organization. Do you get what I mean? So because of that, they become splinter cells. And then through the splinter cells, slowly but surely, everything gets lost along the way. It's just what happens.
How do we measure a level of growth within a culture? Like within, I don't know, is it celebrity a way of mentioning, like, is it measuring growth within a culture? And do you get to see it?
It depends if that culture is attached to a people and a landmass. Yeah. I mean, you could look at the families, like the family level. Do you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, really, it just depends on if that culture is attached to a people and a landmass. So what I'm saying is that a culture's growth, you can look at China's growth from the 80s till now and see it.
From third world to
right in our lifetime, you can see it. Yeah, from farmers and peasants and till the economic boom to superpower. We've seen that in our lifetime. 3 decades that happened in basically 30 years, 35 years, give or take. Yeah. Now, from where they came from to where they are, you would say that's impossible to do that in that length of time, especially when you've got people who would be looking at it and saying, well, you know what, how comes black people haven't done anything since slavery and we could have, but what I'm saying is Chinese people and their change, that culture is attached to a people and a landmass. Does that make sense?
No.
So they could lock the doors and lock the rest of the world out and just focus on themselves. You know what I mean? And yes, they use communism to do that, and lots of people would say, some of it was unsavory means or whatever. And, I'm sure there's a lot of Chinese people who are not happy with how the country were. But what I'm sure they would say is they are very proud of where their country is now. As a Chinese person, they may not like some of the means the government and certain people may have used to get there and to, do you understand what I mean? But the overall goal as a Chinese person, I'm sure they're very proud. Does that make sense? So with us, because the culture itself is attached to a people, but not necessarily a landmass. That's why I always talk about mindset. Do you get what I mean?
That's why the black thing is a bit, you see?
Yeah, exactly. See what I mean? But the black thing is not attached to that. And I hope I'm making sense here, because I hope it don't sound like jargon, but the black thing's not attached to that, but the culture and the mindset is. So the culture and the mindset is worldwide.
Definitely.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's not attached to a landmass and a people.
Yeah.
It's a worldwide thing.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? But the word black, we're trying to attach to a people with no landmass, which doesn't describe them. So what I'm saying is if you had me, you, I don't know, a Somalian guy, and maybe, I don't know, a mixed race guy in a room, do you get what I mean? Although we'd all be considered black, are we the black that the person's talking about when they say black? I don't know. Are they talking about you when they say black? Are they talking about me when they say black? Is a Somalian included when they say black?
I was just going to say that.
Do you get what I mean?
There's enough people that, for some reason,
Think
even though they're from Africa,
yeah.
skin's black, they don't consider Somalians black.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Somalians who wouldn't consider themselves black as well.
You see,
They say to you, they tell you they're Arab, or they tell you they're from. They specify and they say I'm Somalian. I'm not black. I'm Somalian. Or but again, it just comes down to your understanding. Let's just be real. You know, the whole slavery thing and whatnot. They've done a number on us. Let's just be real. Do you get what I'm saying? They've done a number on us, and respect. You know, you have to give credit where credit is due. It's sick. Your work was ill because you proper fucked man up. You get what I'm saying? You know.
But more of a story than the actual it happening like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Say for instance how they told us it happened. Then you gave us movies.
Oh yeah. No. You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
I'm not saying it like that.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that's majoring in the minors.
Yeah.
That's majoring in the minors. Do you get what I'm saying? That's like a man licking down your whole family, and then you being like, yeah, you know what, he never did it, and actually it was the other guy who and you know what, he just sent man to do it, and what? It's irrelevant. That's majoring in the minors. Your family's dead. Do you get what I'm saying? So the long and the short of it is, they did a number on us. Do you get what I'm saying? They actually did do a number on us. Whether it was exaggerated, whatever, it's irrelevant. That's what happened, didn't it? And that what happened is now become our mitigating circumstances. Do you get what I'm saying?
But they're saying that it's not. I feel like again, it's not saying if it did happen, it happened to a section of people. It didn't happen to every black person in the continent.
No, but
in the world.
No, but the consequences of it affected everybody in the world, everybody of color.
But then how come that wasn't the case for the other cultures that had?
Because you attack a problem at its source. That's why. You attack a problem at its source. Do you get what I mean? Everything else.
The Holocaust didn't affect all white people.
No, because all white people weren't Lombards.
What's Lombards?
We'll get into that. That's another conversation. There's Lombard Street. Check out Lombard Street. Yeah, in London. Yeah, check out Lombard Street and see what that is and what's going on Lombard Street, and you get into it a bit further. But the point is, like I say, like, you know, the Holocaust and, you know, these things, there's, again, like I say, it's not me justifying, please don't start your cancel culture over here. I'm just saying that there's historical things that led up to certain things and people having certain feelings and certain propaganda that went around about certain people that created certain feelings and made things happen. Do you get what I mean? Right or wrong, it's not. I'm not here to say that this is right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there was a historical lead up to that. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, the point I'm making. Oh, no, sorry. Let's get back to the point, which is the Islamophobia, because I want to get off of this the Islamophobia thing. The Islamophobia versus racism thing. It's such a nuanced thing that it's not personal to the individual, but that person is going to see it through their lens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, like I say, I can't tell a Muslim that, you know, if he's walking down the street and someone calls him a Muslim, whatever, that, you know, the street is going to react the same way as if I'm walking down the street and someone was to just be out openly racist to me. I can't honestly say that. Do you get what I mean? Because I don't know. We'd have to test it out or something. I don't know. How do you quantify something like, or gauge it? You know what I mean? I can't say that. But what I would say is, on the whole, like, you know, things happen when it's this and they don't happen when it's that, that argument is dead in the water, because, like I say, certain people have people in places of power and they have things in place to affect things when they feel offended. Do you get what I mean? And other people don't. Do you know what I mean? And don't confuse people being openly and outwardly frustrated and angry about something with actually something happening or people caring. Did you get what I mean? So when you make statements like that, it's a bit like, I don't know, I'm conflicted with that, because on one hand, I understand what you're trying to say. 100%, I understand what you're trying to say. Like I said, if I was on the road and somebody said, you know, you black bastard or whatever, there might be a couple of white people on the road who got maybe, I don't know, a couple of black mates or a mixed race nephew or whatever, or just generally cool people who just think, no, that's fucking fucked up. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't do that. But then can I not say the same if it was a Muslim person? Do you get what I mean? But then again, Islamophobia, is it such a deep problem with everything that happened with the bombings and the this and that maybe they would be kind of half okay with it? I don't know. See what I mean? Even down to myself, I think about it and I think, I've even had black people come up to me and be like, yeah, but they're fucking Muslims. And I'm like, what? Like what? Do you get what I'm saying?
They said the same things that we heard about ourselves in the 90s.
Yeah, about Muslims. And you're like, bro, he's like, oh, you was born here, so you think somehow you're, you're different, right? Okay, cool. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. Crazy, man. But yeah, and I know we're skipping, so it's probably going to be choppy. I'm probably talking a lot of shit, but the point is, we're going to have to skip through this because we got a few. So that was just literally just the first one, and I was just putting it out there. We probably go back to it another time, probably have a deeper, more lengthy conversation about it or whatever, because that's a good one. But the next one is, and this one again is something we could go on for, the big C. Do you know what I mean? No one really want to talk about it. The big C, but I don't really want to talk about the actual virus. This bit played out, everyone's kind of spoken about it, and there's loads of information out there. Go and get yourself informed or whatever. I want to talk more about the mental health aspect of it. Do you get what I'm saying? And these lockdowns, and do you know what I mean? And just generally, just to put it out there, like, how's man coping with the lockdown?
Yeah, it's true.
No, I'm asking man, like, how's man coping with the lockdown?
Like, for me, I kind of saw something like this happening in a way. I didn't know it was going to be a lockdown. I just knew that we was getting closer and closer to a place where we kind of have to have our own businesses and own activities.
Yeah, definitely.
To keep our mind going. So I just give thanks that I have had that. Because I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I never believed it in the first place. So even when I got caught a flu or whatever, I just cut through with it. And
do you know what, bruv? This is why I like you but don't like you, because you just touched on my next thing, which is conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and talk about both of them at the same time. We're going to juggle. So, conspiracy theories. Do you think they're helping or harming the community?
Depends on which way you're taking it. So like, if you was a conspiracy theorist before this happened, you might be a bit better off. But if you started to be a conspiracy theorist while this is happening, it's going to be a bit more scary.
But would you say that's more to do with the fact that if you've been around a certain amount of knowledge for a certain amount of time, you become a little bit more objective?
Yeah.
Would you say?
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Cool.
Like, conspiracy theory is just a word, really.
Yeah. Because that's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it. Because and it's also used as something to poo-hoo people who are talking sense.
Yes, it is.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Well-known conspiracy theorists, it's like, oh, well, I don't need to listen to what he's saying. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a way to poo-hoo people who might actually have a point of view. Do you get what I mean? You know, it's the same way, like, certain people will come in and they'll be like, Dr. blah, 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 blah. So it's like, okay, well, so now I have to agree with what he's saying because he's a doctor of whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, no, I don't agree with that. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I know that's how it works. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So
in between knowledge and the lies is bullshit as well.
Yeah.
Actually, if you know who the filters are.
Yeah, and there's also education and inspiration, isn't there?
Yeah. Do
you get what I'm saying? Like, Bob Marley said all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? There's also education and inspiration. I think he said, maybe if I was educated, I'd be a damn fool. Do you get what I'm saying? And it makes perfect sense because he wasn't educated, as they would want you to be. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But he was obviously smarter than a lot of people. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't really buy into all of that. But at the same time, conspiracy theories, what I've found is you've got a few different types. And it's starting to morph, because especially, I think it's because of social media as well, to be totally honest, but it's starting to morph now. Because there's people who generally, question things, I just look at them as truth seekers, people who, they kind of smell the bullshit early, or they kind of smell a rat where there is one, even if they can't see it, they're like, lift up these floorboards, man, so that's not right. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, there's those people, and then there's the ones that you said, the people who are kind of, I don't know what the word is to use, the people who are possibly it's not that I'm trying to be polite, you know, because I could just call them semi-literate as I usually do. But I mean, the people who probably just not at the right space in their life to deal with certain information.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? Or maybe need prior information before they get to that information.
That's why I said
Yeah.
2020, 2021 is the wrong time to get into it. Because it's in your face now.
Yeah.
Now it's not a conspiracy. Now you're dealing with reality.
Okay, well, let's just look at the coronavirus, for example, yeah? You started with, it's 5G.
Yeah.
Then you got black people can't catch it.
Yeah.
Then you had...
Black Lives Matter.
Then you had black people can catch it, but they can't die from it. Then you had, it was created to kill the black man.
Yes.
And the same person who said the first narrative said all of those narratives.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Do you know what I mean?
They're changing it.
You can't not notice the contradiction in everything you've just said over the last 3 months. You cannot, or 6 months or whatever it was. Do you get what I'm saying? You cannot get from that point to that point without at least thinking to yourself, right. Do you get what I mean? And the fact that you're not, and you're just 100% in this thing, yeah, no, because it's this and it's that and the Illuminati and rah, rah, rah. It's like, bro. And that's why I started with mental health. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I don't like you because you went on to my next part because that's what I was going to leave. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? So mental health, bro. I think the whole conspiracy theory thing, I hate to use those words, but yeah, that whole kind of alternative news and whatever is creating a lot of crazy people, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheep.
Well, there's a lot of people who their headspace is just not in the right place to deal with that type of information. Like I say, there's people who can take a hallucinogenic and have a very, very positive experience. There's other people who take it and they come out of it and they literally look like they've seen a ghost. And do you know what I mean, bro? They have to go and sit down in a rehab for a couple of months. You get what I mean? And get them crazy thoughts out of their head. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, like I say, everybody's different. Do you know what I mean? So again.
So that if we understood that we was all different from a long time ago, we would have adapted to ourselves. But a lot of people, that if you follow the systematic rules, where you're doing everything in their way, then when they close it down, you'll be lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Even when it comes to your work, going to work, your social life, everything. So now when they're telling you to stay inside, you're staying inside.
Yeah, definitely.
And that for people that don't stay inside, we don't even understand what it's like.
Yeah, but
mentally torture.
I mean, like you said, if you kind of half knew certain things before all of this, you kind of was half prepped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think as well, it's a mindset more than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people would like the revolution without having to be a rebel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this is what I'm saying. So like when you kind of half have accepted that at some stage you may have to be a rebel, you're kind of a bit more comfortable with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, I don't think they were ever prepared for anything like this in their lifetime. They never ever they never expected anything like this in their lifetime. They just thought, you know, I'm going to go to work, the kids are going to go uni, blah blah blah. That's why a lot of people you see, they just want it over and done with now. They just want it over and done with. That's all. They just, please, anything to get it back to normal, whatever. We'll take the vaccine, we'll do whatever. Just get this over and done with now, please, so we can all go back out there and blah blah. Which is pretty much what I assume people thought would happen. Because come on, man, people are only going to take so much of this, and then, like I say, people will do literally anything just to get back to normal, what they consider normal to be.
What confuses me, why do you think that there's different countries dealing with it differently? Like certain countries have opened from a long time ago. Do you know what I mean?
Because different countries have different agendas.
I agree. That's always.
Yeah, different countries have different agendas. Do you know what I mean? Some people, a virus comes to their country, they just want to deal with the virus. Do you know what I mean? Other people, a virus comes to your country, could possibly be an opportunity for you to, well, whatever. Depends on your mind, how your mindset, isn't it? How you approach it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like with anything. So yeah, I mean, that kind of half leads onto another thing, which is vaccine and anti-vaccine. Do you know what I mean? Like, and why you know, they say the BAME community are so reluctant to. I hate that, by the way. I just thought I'd throw that out. That was actually a joke, but no one laughed. Don't worry. But yeah. The BAME community. Why they're so reluctant to get vaccinated? Is that because of conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Even like I say, I am one of those that like to think over in a different direction. I think so much in a different direction. When I see too many people being anti-vaccine, you got to start wondering if this vaccine. Not saying it's a good thing, but I'm just saying whether they want people to be anti, so it just there's more for other people. Because people got to understand that conspiracies are also run by who you think you're trying to get away from.
Well, I had actually, funny enough, it was, I have to shout out my mum. My mum actually hit me with this one, and it was, did you ever think that maybe someone's putting out all this anti-vax stuff because they know that we're more inclined to be against the system, which is in turn then going to put us more at risk, which is then in turn is going to actually do the plan that you was saying the vaccine's supposed to do, which is kill the people. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, yeah, obviously you have to all be objective and think in every angle, every way and whatever. But I think it's also the herbal remedy, old wives' tale side of kind of like what's left of the culture, you know. When it first came out, you saw a lot of people posting memes and, you know, many serious things are said in jest, you know, about the rum and, you know, Uncle Ray and the lemon and, you know, people posting ginger, lemon and blueberry and say, yeah, this kills corona and, do you know what I mean? And, you know, although some people were just joking and then other people were saying it seriously, irrelevant of all of that, like it is something that exists within our culture, do you know what I mean? We do, you know, kind of lean towards the herbal remedies and the, do you know what I mean? If we can.
And it's lasted us.
Well, it has. This is what I'm saying. So because of those beliefs and traditional stuff that we have on top of the fact that we don't trust the system, do you get what I'm saying? And we have no reasons to trust it, you know what I'm saying? So on top of that, would that be a safe enough reason to say that's probably why we're not rushing out there to get it in droves?
Yeah. I feel like I say, like they're working things against us and they're working, you know what I mean? People that, you kind of got to know how, because I believe they could be selective when you go and get it. You don't know, innit? You know what I mean? We're actually in a place where everything's quite mad. So, but the fact that in these third world countries, they're just being controlled based on being controlled, not their deaths. Like they might have like 5 deaths, and then the whole country's on lockdown. So it's like this was you could see everyone saw this was more about control than anything. And the more you knew the law, the more you could go against the law. Because look at the guy that had his tattoo shop in Bristol, and he's just been, you know what I mean, standing up and going against them with his knowledge. He's had the fight against them, but he's stood tall. Through that, people just he's been a something for people to watch to say. Okay.
Yeah, he's been a bit of an inspiration. Definitely. Even me personally. You know what I mean? Certain times you think, well, just put on the mask and go in there, man, and just forget the hassle, man. Do you know what I mean? And then you see people like that, you think, for real, man, like, why am I putting it? Nah, man, like, stop this, man. I need to breathe air, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets like, certain times you have your ignorant, but that's the thing, is that, that's what I'm saying, is that you have your ignorant moments, you have your guilty moments. You have all different types of moments, you know what I mean? You find yourself doing stuff just to appease people, even though you don't do that stuff. Do you get what I mean? And you're like, why am I feeling guilty about it? But then at the same time, like I said, there is a certain level of guilt that comes with that ignorant, like total ignorance, like, I'm just going to go where I want to go and do what I don't care. You can't really be doing that either, to be totally honest. And that was the thing that I had a problem with when it first started, is that I was trying to tell a lot of people, like, yes, there may be ulterior motives and there may be other things going on behind the scenes, but the actual virus exists, like it's real. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, there was these people who were saying it doesn't exist and it's not real, like it's not a real thing.
You know what
like,
they didn't understand? They don't understand. If you know how to break something down yourself, you'll say, okay, it's a stronger strain of the flu. You don't need to take their name. Sometimes people put their name on more than anything. Like, because they also used it as a control mechanism, it became not real to what they were saying. So it wasn't about it not being real, it became not real to what you're saying. So if I say like, okay, this thing can do this, but I'm exaggerating it, people now say, okay, what he's saying is bullshit.
Mm.
So they're not. I don't feel like that's what made them denounce the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
It's too much bullshit.
Definitely.
So
Well, for example, it's like when I was trying to explain to people that how 5G being dangerous for the human body or anatomy or whatever you want to talk about became 5G is causing corona. See what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying our conspiracy theory is dangerous, meaning, because remember, once they're out there, you don't have no control over your audience's intelligence.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And most people just remember bullet points or, do you know what I'm saying? Like a sentence of a whole paragraph. Do you get what I'm saying? So the context and everything gets left out of what you're saying.
The truth is also dangerous.
Yeah, no. The truth is dangerous, but I mean...
And I'm not talking from our point of view, I'm talking about but maybe...
Okay, let me put you this way. What I'm saying is, the reason why I said, would you say that it's, if you've been in around this type of knowledge for a certain amount of time, you become more objective, is because there's kind of like a process. It's like you find out certain things, you want to find out more, you go into it, and then boom, you kind of hit the belly. You're like, boom, oh my God, there's all this information, and it starts to blow your mind. So you start to walk around telling everybody like no one knows. Do you know what I mean? You start walking around, yeah, there's this and that, and Illuminati, and Rothschild, and all this stuff that you haven't even like made sense of yourself yet. You've just heard all this stuff, and you know it's deep, and you believe some of it, and you're like, yeah, like this is deep. Do you get what I mean? So you're just running around with all this information, just spouting off stuff to people. Do you get what I'm saying? And then over a period of time, you start to do the cross-referencing, because that happens over time. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? And then over time, you get the context. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you start to actually look outside of your initial sources. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And then over the time you get the context, and that's what makes you objective, because now you've already believed in something that was fake already, and you realize, no, actually I did believe in that, and there's loads of truth in that, but I got to this point and then I realized that actually when I look into the historical origin of that, that's actually bait as well. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Although there's loads of good in it. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. So it's like there's a process you go through with the information. Do you get what I mean? And I'm finding that that process doesn't exist anymore, because of social media and certain things and blah, blah, blah. So what happens is you get people who have watched I'm not going to mention nobody's name, big up everybody and whatever, but they'll watch 2 videos and then all of a sudden they are the go-to person on whatever the subject is. Do you get what I mean?
Open-minded about it, they're just like, this is it.
Yeah, this is what it is. Do you get what I mean? You know, and that's the thing. So yeah, man, cross-reference, man, look into it, get context, you get what I'm saying? Because conspiracy theories, there's a lot of truth in everything. So look for the truth everywhere, basically, is the point. Do you get what I mean? But try and be objective. Do you get what I mean? Try and actually look into what it is you're talking about before you start talking about it like that's the only possible that's the only possibility. Like there's no other variables. Exactly. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because it's just a posh word for hearsay.
Basically. And as well, like I say, when you're cross-references, like I say, look outside of the source, the initial source, isn't it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So look, so basically, don't just read the people who are writing for the thing you agree with. Read the stuff with the people who are writing against it as well. Or speaking against it as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? To understand what is they're even saying.
What's the angle?
Well, yeah. You mean, if I'm looking for the answers to something in this book, I'm not going to try and find the answers in this book. Do you get what I mean? I'm going to read this book, whether I believe in it or not. I'm then going to cross-reference it with outside sources, other stuff, isn't it? Which is going to lead me to other stuff. Do you get what I mean? You know, and then I can cross-reference that with this and that and that, and then, you know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do. Or I would imagine, if you really have an interest in those things.
It's like when I don't know if you know about The Secret and things like that. If you just watch The Secret, and they're telling you, yeah, just think what you want and it comes in your life. That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You might have to cross-reference the law of attraction.
Yeah, but that's just lazy. That's just lazy narratives, isn't it? We love lazy narratives. Let's just be real. We love lazy narratives. That's what we do.
But if you take that and read the law of attraction, and read the power of now, and read the things that actually will help you to understand what they're saying.
Yep. Then it makes sense, and you can apply it. Yeah, but then it's the same thing like when people always say, oh, you know, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. No, knowledge is just information. Do you get what I mean? The real power is in the application of knowledge, and that's wisdom. Do you get what I mean? The application of knowledge is wisdom, knowing when, how, why you're doing it, when to do it, when not to do it. Do you get what I mean? That's wisdom. Do you get what I mean? There's no, people say, oh, the kids, they're so smart. No, the kids have lots of information. Do you get what I mean? But as you can see, they don't know how to apply it. They don't know what, because they don't have the wisdom. There's no one around them saying, this is how you do it. This is how you don't do it. Don't do that, do this. You know what I mean? Don't leave your missus in the rah. What you do is you take her to work. No one's there telling them what to do and what not to do. So they're making it up as they go along. They're making up their rules as they go along. Do you get what I mean? You know? Because, yeah, they've got all the information. They can Google something and get all the information. But then, all right, now I've got the knowledge, I'm powerful, yeah? No, I've just got shitloads of information. I know 6 and 8 year olds who've got shitloads of information in their head. They could sit right here with us right now and just seem like they're just big people. Do you get what I'm saying? Just because they have watched enough adults around them. And by the way, adults are so slack. They do all their big people stuff around the kids that the child can sit around big people and mimic adults. To the point where you say, well, he's just like man them, like, you know, little big man still. No, he's just seen you lot do your fuckery so long. He knows how to sit. He knows how to put his hand. He knows when to say, like, yeah, you done know. He knows what you lot do. Do you get what I'm saying? So he can mimic you. He can think. But and although people would say, oh, well, then he does know how to apply it and rah. No, he just knows your fuckery. He knows how to mimic. He knows how to imitate you. He knows how to impersonate. But put him in a scenario with people he doesn't know, he won't know how to apply any of that stuff that he's watched, if that makes sense. No, of course. You know what I mean? He'll just do stuff. That's why he'll go to school and he'll show out around other kids. Do you get what I mean? And he'll be getting thrown out of classes and this one, that one, because he thinks this is cool. This is what you do. This is how I get attention. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to get a pat on the back for this, because when I do this at home, everyone laughs. Do you know what I mean? You know? This is actually, I thought this was cool. Don't realize that everyone else is just looking at you like, raw, he's mad. What's wrong with him? Yeah, get off the table, Jordan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a nutter. What's wrong with him? Do you get what I mean? But to him, he's just thinking, yeah, man, watch this. Do you get what I mean? He's just showing out, man. It's nothing, man. It's nothing. It's nothing, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Teacher coming to shut up. Do you get what I'm saying? It's nothing. You're a dickhead. Do you get what I'm saying? Bruv. So, again, yeah. I'm going to leave that one there. Only because I got another one, which is, there was a video. Yeah, there was a video put out. You know, I don't usually try and stay away from these kind of things, but there was a video put out by a Rasta. Do you know what I mean? Big up to him, because I'm actually a fan of his music. Do you know what I mean? He's done some really, really big tunes, conscious. Well, I know him as a conscious artist. I'm not saying he's never done no dancehall tunes before, but I know him as a conscious artist. Huh? You didn't even show us that part. Yeah. He's a conscious artist, you get what I'm saying? And yeah, he's put out a video, Fire King. If you don't know, or if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And yeah, tell me what you think. Drop your comments or whatever when you see it and let us know what you think. But it just got me thinking about a subject that I've kind of struggled with for years, which is conscious fuckery. Like, is there such a thing?
Are you not allowed to do you have to be perfect if you're conscious?
No, you don't. No.
So, conscious fuckery. Alright.
Okay, let me put you this way then. Can you be a bad man Ras?
No, I don't believe that personally. From what I know.
Why not?
From the teachings that I know that Rastafari's go by, you can't be a bad man Ras.
Okay, cool. So again, if you was a Ras and you had women in your video, half naked, twerking, flinging up their batty, pum pum, and batty jaw corner out a road. I mean, from what we know, like you just said, from what we know of Rasta and Rastafari, that's not the imagery that Rasta promote. as far as we know. So would that not be contradictory to the message, just like being a bad man ras would be contradictory to the overall teachings and message?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we agree on that. So with that said, because I'm gonna give him a get out of jail card. We're gonna give him a get out of jail card. Don't get it twisted. We're gonna give him a get out of jail card. And the get out of jail card is this: is that we know within the community that we glamorize fuckery, and we don't have no problem with fuckery, no matter who's doing it. So, like you said, as a conscious person, you don't actually have to be perfect. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? We've got loads of Rasta artists who have sung loads of slackness back in the day, and probably even now. Do you know what I mean? That's some of their best tunes. Do you get what I mean? We'll jump up to them, women skin out to them, and it's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to go through them. We all know them. Do you get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm talking about Rasta artists. I'm not talking about just general slackness. I'm talking about Rasta, whether they be Bobo, Nyabingi, whatever, 12 tribe, whatever, and they're there talking the wickedest. Yeah. Pump up her pum pum. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything. You know what I mean? Manangola, take the kaki and fast it under, which is basically rape. Do you get what I'm saying? So, you know, all these things, we've heard it before. But the difference would be is that they haven't put out the visuals. Yeah. They haven't put out a video with half naked, scantily clad women, and they're giving her a backers or slapping her on her bum cheek or whatever. They didn't do that. So they had the get out clause of saying, oh, it's just music and it's just a tune, and you get what I'm saying? It's just for the people, them. They want them kind of tune, and you know, it's just a lyrics. You get me? And Rasta like women in it, and we have sex like everybody else. So you can make a tune about say that's, even though the tune would be considered slack, people could give you a get out of jail card there. So again, going back to the culture, we're all right with the fuckery. You just can't put out the imagery. Do you know what I mean? And you said something which was powerful, but obviously this is what you do, so you know it from an imagery level, just like, you know what I mean, the visuals of it. It's like, he didn't even need to be in the video. And I didn't even look at it like that, because I wasn't even thinking of it like that. I was just thinking, well, maybe you could have a couple good looking women in like turbans or whatever, because they could still be dancing. They just didn't have to have their batty jaw corner out and flinging up their pussy. Do you get what I'm saying? Sorry. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? They didn't have to be doing all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know the argument would be, you know, you're an artist and creativity and it's just music and rah, rah, rah. But with the turban on your head and the Rastafari thing, you kind of represent something. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? And that, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that would be contradictory to what we know you to be representing.
Yeah, you're looking at a whole new crowd.
Yeah, by being in the video performing like that. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the thing, you know, it's not the tune. Because like I said, we would have let you get away with that. Do you know what I mean? What gal hard till them vomiting and all of that. We would have let you get away with that. We would have all sing it. You get me? People's mums would have been singing that in the dance when they open them back up again. Do you get what I'm saying? It would have been not a problem. Do you get what I'm saying? But the visuals, I think, was a bit much. Which goes back to stereotypes, because that's the next thing I want to touch on, which is stereotypes. Do we credit certain people with certain things just because? So like I say, like, did I just credit him with a certain level of consciousness just because he's got the turban on his head? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like, so off the back of that, in my mind, you are this guy. You are this guy. You wouldn't do that because you're a Rasta, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's almost like I have a false expectation of you just based off of the visual, because in my mind, man with turban don't do them things there. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, I don't know, is it...
It's branching out, there's something new.
Yeah. But is it...
Like I said,
bad guy.
It's the fact that we do allow ourselves to get dragged in because it might be the in thing. I think, and that's been the problem for a lot of people, that I thought that a lot of legends lost their legendary status for me because they tried to do what was new.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just really twisted on the whole conscious fuckery thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you be conscious while still keeping up a certain level of fuckery? I mean,
no, because like I said, you can consciously be doing fuckery, and that just means that you're fuckery.
basically, yeah.
Like, depending on who you are, is whether it's right for you. Because some people, it is actually them. Some people are kind of bad man. There are
mind people like that. They don't get addressed. Do you know what I mean? They just don't get addressed.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm going to flip it again. Mavado's son. Yeah? Mavado's son got arrested for murder. You know what I mean? He got sentenced, I think. You know what I mean? Whatever. Now, again, I'm not even going to go into all of that because that's not what I want to talk about. My point, or not even so much point, but what I would like to talk about, the discussion I'd like to have around that kind of thing is, how many people do we know with famous parents, you know, within our community who just live like normal people, meaning as in their parents' fame doesn't affect their life in any way, and they actually live probably a bit like Mavado's son with no real perks. Do you know what I mean? Whether that be because their mum's estranged or whatever the case may be, but even if they were illegitimate, do you know what I'm saying? But the fact still we're born out of wedlock, whatever the case may be, there just seems to be no perks from what I can see, other than using the fame to get into some type of criminality or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't see where the perks are.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? You know? Very rarely, very rarely I hear of like perks. Like, you know, I just remember all the people, I'm not going to mention no names, but I grew up with loads of people. I say loads, but you know, I can think of a few people, more than 5 off the top of my head right now, whose parents, usually fathers, were very famous at the time, like very famous. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and they went through shitloads of money, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Do you get what I mean? But their children grew up just like us. Like, they never grew up special. They just grew up on an estate or wherever they were or whatever. And don't get me wrong, every now and then he may come through and drop something on you, or you know what I mean, or whatever, or you might get a little perk. You might, you know what I'm saying, like every now and then. But generally speaking, other than someone saying, "Oh yeah, so and so son that," or whatever, that was about as big as the perks got.
So what do you think? Do you feel like what we looked at as perks was bullshit?
Obviously, yeah, but it's all you had. So it's just like with anything, isn't it? If you don't have nothing, then anything you get is something, isn't it? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's literally like that.
Yeah.
Literally, let's get another cool. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? It's literally like that. If you ain't got nothing, anything you get is something. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like I say, like if you're in a situation where you got no perks, and the only perk you got is you can go down the high road and a couple man outside the bookies will say, "Yeah, man, so and so son that, yeah man, big up on wherever." If that's all you got, then that's something, innit? You hold that, that's everything to you. That's that's the shit. You get what I'm saying, Car? Every time you walk down there, them man there, you know what I mean? Even when you get to a certain age and you go down there, you see your little cigarette with your friend, they say, "What you smoking?" You're thinking, they say, "Jump on that, get a little draw or something." You're thinking, what? You're the man, bruv. That's everything in your life. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, that the only perks seem to be negative. Do you get what I mean? From what I can see, the perks, I can't see no positive perks. Like, for example, like, again, I don't even want to talk about that situation too much, but let's just look at that situation. Like, if you're Mavado's son, whether Mavado's with your mum or not, or whatever the case may be, like, you would think that you'd have him in a little private school somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or you'd have him patterned. He's off the ends or something. Yeah. He's not supposed to be running off no ends and, you know, gunman business and all that. What? But if you did all of that and you got out, you're one of the few who actually got out, and you got money, big house on the hill, everything. I'm not judging you or nothing. I'm not saying he didn't try. I don't know his situation. But what I'm saying is to hear that his son has been arrested for an M and got charged and he's guilty and he's gone to jail for it and everything. Yeah. And he's a youth man, bruv, 17, 18. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure enough people, Hollywood star, musicians from other races have got illegitimate children, first wife and all that, but they don't just fling them out a street, bruv. You get what I'm saying? They put things in place. Even certain men, they have illegitimate children. They're married and that. They have children out of wedlock. They just put a little hush money up. Do you know what I mean? Drop a little meal on that, or a little 50 bags or whatever. You know what I mean? Just take that in it. Make sure they're nice, and I'll drop something every birthday or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't try and fuck up my wedding or not my wedding, my marriage or nothing. Do you know what I mean? But hold that. I'll nice you. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't gonna fuck with you, but I'll make sure they're nice, innit? No, but it's real though. It's real. It's reality. You know what I'm saying? And although it sounds fuckery, that's the real. It's real. Right? Look, you'd prefer to be nice in your life at your dad's funeral, thinking he's a cunt. He never fucked with me or my mum. but you're nice though. So even though you're saying all of that, all you're really angry about is that he weren't in your house the way you would have wanted him to be. He wasn't with your mum the way you would have wanted him to be. He wasn't the dad you wanted him to be. Shit happens, bro. There's people with much worse situations. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to having a dad who never fucked with you, never fucked with your mum. You got no positives at all. You know what I mean? You're in and out of jail your whole life. You know what I mean, bruv? You're borrowing money off your fucking mum to get your suit to go to his funeral because you just come out of jail. You know what I mean? And all you got is bad vibes from this brother, bad memories of this brother. Do you get what I mean? In fact, you got no memories of the brother. That's why it's all negative, you get what I'm saying? You know? But everyone's telling you about, yeah, man, your dad are rare, and your dad did have rare. I remember when your dad did the on tour, and boy, your dad did mash up the place 1992. Yeah, man, we did on tour with him in Miami, and that means nothing to me, bruv. My mum was suffering, bruv. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So you telling me that means nothing to me. I ain't got no stories of him. In fact, you lot are telling me about him. I don't even know this guy you're talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? I know the guy who came past every now and again and drop a little whatever. You know what I mean? Rub me on my head and tell me about what my behave yourself at school and just fuckery that don't even mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like just random stuff you say to people. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't even mean nothing. You're not even going to come back and check up if I am doing well at school. You're just saying that just because that's what you say when you see motherfuckers. It's like, yeah, little motherfucker. Yeah. Hope you're doing well at school. It's like, you don't care. You ain't coming back to check up. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, I just see no perks in it. I'm sure if Tom Cruise had an illegitimate son somewhere, I'm sure he'd be nice, is the point I'm making. Do you get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure, and I'm not saying he couldn't go on to commit a murder or anything like that, but I'm sure it will be through no want of trying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You look back at him, you think, well, you know what? Private school, this one, that way. If anything, you probably spoiled him. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what you probably look at. You think, well, you know what? Probably because Tom Cruise was his dad, spoiled him, blah, blah, blah. This you don't really get that impression, bro. This you, when you see the pictures of him and rare, you don't really get that impression, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? You know? And you can see he was fully in this badness.
What I did hear about is that Mavado started the problem as well. Like, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say he started the problem, but he glamorized the fuckery that we all glamorized. I think I've said that before. Like I said, I grew up on Ninja Man, so nobody can't tell me about people starting to glamorize fuckery. Man was glamorizing fuckery from Wade. Do you get what I'm saying? Man told you about gun punty. That was the wickedest talk. When I was a youth, man, you get what I'm saying? Man said his gun don't join church, fam. You get what I'm saying? That was the wickedest talk. You get what I'm saying? So like I say, off the back of that, what did you want them to say? I've got a gun? No, they got to say something sicker than what you were saying, innit? Just like if a man's out here and he's killed 6 men, you got to go and kill him and then kill 10. You get what I'm saying? You got to go sicker than the last man. You can't come out and just say anything because it won't be entertaining no more. It's like with the slackness, innit? A gal can't come out now and say, boy, I'll give you a blowjob. That's not even talk again. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That's not even talk again. If you're trying to shock us, babe, you need to come out on some, I don't even know what you need to do. Do you get what I'm saying? But you need to do something. You maybe come out squirting in your video or something. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get the man, them like, look, you seen that video? Yeah. Look, come on, but you have to because it's all normal now. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not nothing. It's all normal now. So, yeah, man. With the whole like famous parent thing in our community, I've seen it so many times. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Kids who got famous parents and it means nothing. Literally, you know. People say, "Oh yeah, but his dad was Mavado, man. How did this happen?" Yeah, his dad's Mavado, meaning Mavado slept with his mum. But outside of that, how much real contact, how much real, do you know what I mean? Or was you just coming in every now and then and the only thing he really saw of you was marrow, fly, and all of that? If that's what all he ever saw of you, then it makes sense what he's doing now. Because he's almost trying to live up to this famous dad that he's got and all the rest of it in his mind. Do you get what I'm saying? And obviously he's listening to the lyrics. He don't know if you're really a bad man. He just knows the lyrics, innit? You know what I mean? Let the ting fly, rah, rah, rah. Last night, last night. Come on, bruv. We know them tune there, bruv. And we was all putting up a little gun finger when them tune come out. So you can imagine being the son of the guy who's singing them lyrics. You're feeling that even more than us. You're gassed. You're like, that's my dad, you know? You know what I mean? So again, like I say, when you're walking down the road, a man say, oh, look at my father, that, oh yeah, man, a bad boy, that man, yeah, man, baby. That stays with you, innit? And it becomes what you live for. It becomes everything. Do you get what I mean? Because there ain't no other benefit. That's what I'm saying. There ain't no other benefit. It's not like you are in the private school and you're only seeing them man there every once and twice when you're on holiday coming back to see your mum or something. It's not like that. Because then it's like a little passing influence. You might be around a couple bad man, but you're getting private school, you're around bare rich youths, and do you know what I'm saying? But you've got different influences. You know what I mean? You've got a different life. Do you get me? You've got choices now. But if you're just around a man them and everyone's just bunning, everyone's got gun finger, and anyone who gets respect around here, as we know, is on a bad man thing. That's just the long and the short of it. Do you get what I mean? You know, certain like look now, even now, man are trying to make out like the only people who can talk to the youths is bad man.
It's true.
Do you know how mad that is, bruv? So hold on a minute. So once my youth gets to a certain age and he's got certain influences, I can't talk to him no more. Yeah, I need to go and get a fully fledged killer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like and when I say killer, because I might all be a killer, but if he don't know that I've killed people, do you get what I'm saying? Then it's no good because I can't talk to him. I need to get somebody who's got bodies that are public. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, and bring him to talk to him because that's all he's gonna respect. That's mad, bruv.
It's sad that because people still respect the same things.
Yeah, people still respect the same things, but I think it's just another lazy narrative, though. That's like saying the only reason why the man them are doing fuckery is because there's no opportunities and there's no peas. Like, do we really believe that?
No.
Like, do we? No. Do we really believe that? Come on, bruv. None of us really believe that. If you dropped peas in the ends right now, bruv, the murder rate would skyrocket. Like, I don't even know what. If you dropped everybody 10 mil right now, everybody, back, everybody's nice. There's 10 mil everywhere. Everyone's got 10 mil, you're good. Yeah? Do you know how much bodies would drop that same day? Off the back of that influx of money going into the ends. Come on, bruv, man. It's not just a poverty thing. Do you get what I mean? It's not just an opportunities thing. Do you get what I mean? It's a mindset and culture thing that is generational. Some men are coming out of yards with 3 generations of criminality. What are you talking about? Do you know what I'm saying? Granddad was on this thing. Do you know what I mean? I know certain man who brought sloshers to their yard and their dad took the hole off them. Huh? Bruv, come on, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying, bruv? Come on, bruv. This is real. An old man who done bird with their dad on the wing. I was sat in Pups, you alright, but yeah, cool. Do you understand?
Yeah, in the cell with his dad.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, come on, bruv, man.
Yeah. I would have felt so like flops.
No, but this is normal for us, though. That's what I'm trying to say. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal, bro. That's normal. Your mum will be finished, bruv, doing all sorts of fuckery, rare. But because it's your mum, you can't even disrespect the thing. You just gotta love her and just say, boy, she did the best she can. That's why you always hear that. Would you always hear from a man who grew up in single parent households, bro? My mum did the best she can. That's a man's way of saying, I don't want to speak bad about my mum.
Yeah. 100%.
That's all it is. That's just man saying, I don't want to speak bad about my mum. She's all I got.
Yeah.
She's all I got. I can't speak bad about her.
And you understand.
No matter what she did, no matter how bad it was growing up, I ain't gonna say nothing that even slightly sounds like I could be questioning her parenting or anything like that. She done the best she could. That's it. That's the token statement. Yeah, my mum done the best she could. All right, cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I mean? But from what I understand, when you actually start telling your story, the shit's a bit fucked up, bro. So if she's the main carer, then I have to assume that the shit was a bit fucked up, right? No, because my mum, well, I'm not dissing your mum, I'm just saying that from what you're explaining about the scenario and the situation, like, you know, it's not a pointing fingers thing, it's just talking the thing, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And like I say, yeah, fair play. They probably did do the best they could. Do you know what I mean? In the situation, but it doesn't negate what happened, innit, and what was going on. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, it don't change that. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, most people, they ain't got that guidance, bro. They ain't got them people there around them to say blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just sad as far as I'm concerned, especially when, for example, we're switching completely here, yeah? But this just shows you the toxicness, yeah, in the mindset, yeah? When I say about the mindset and the culture, yeah? You got someone like Meek Mill, yeah, who's made money now, innit? He's on a different, whatever you want to call it, do you get what I'm saying? Tax bracket or whatever they call it in America. Do you know what I mean? You know, and he's making power moves. So he's basically come from nothing to something, innit? He's the American dream, quote unquote. He's got there, innit? So he's the kind of guys you really should be like proud of, innit? You should be like, yeah, like championing them kind of guys, yeah? You got 6ix9ine. People call him a snitch, this one, that one, yada, 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 whatever. Man's approached him Yeah. Now separate the fact that they both got security and there's police there and all the rest of it. Yeah. Separate that fact. This is the mindset of the people. Meek Mill is now not real because he got G-checked by a snitch. So forget the fact that there's security, there's police, forget all of that. You now are now supposed to do the most ignorant shit ever in your life at the point in your life where you really have everything to lose. Do you get what I'm saying?
You know what I think what Wack was saying as well, you know Wack 100? He was the one kind of saying he should have done something. Yeah? What he was saying was that you keep making it an issue. Like, you know, like he's like, don't even speak about it. You're the one that keeps making them public issues.
Yeah.
You get on here, you get on DJ Academics.
Yeah.
Talking wicked to academics, that's not even from the street, yeah? You lot chasing down Safari, that didn't even try to threaten you, man, and didn't snitch on no one. But now you're being political when you're in front of someone. That, yeah, I understand this like you're saying.
No. I'm not saying it's like, listen.
Leave it all together.
No. I'm agreeing with you because my whole thing is the contradiction in the culture.
Yeah.
And the mindset and the culture. You get me? So the mindset is basically, like root for ghetto people so they can get out of these fucked up situations. But then when they get out of the fucked up situations, you basically saying they need to put themselves in fucked up situations. What? Now they've got out. What? And so now he's out, he's supposed to go jail. Now he's out, he's supposed to bust shot. Now he's out, he's supposed to be banging on ops. But then, like I said, the contradiction is like what you were saying is you're still talking all that shit in your music.
Yeah.
You're still calling up on that energy, innit?
Yeah.
You're still putting it on man who ain't about anything, who ain't in this thing like that. So when something like that happens, you now are supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That is exactly what you're supposed to do. And this is what I'm saying about the contradiction in the culture and the mindset. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they contradict each other. You can't have it both ways. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? You can't have it both ways.
You can't be influencing youths to think a certain way, and that's not really.
And that's not what you're doing. This is what I'm saying. So it's either you're doing it or you ain't. Do you get what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it goes back to what we were saying about the Fire King thing, which is basically like, do you have to be doing what you're saying? Because then they're gonna lean on the side of creativity and the artist, and it's just music, and you see what I'm saying? So
even like on his side, the Rasta man can't lean on that. That doesn't mean.
No, but technically he can't lean on that.
That's what I mean. So like that, in his circle, they're not gonna hear that. And I'm a Rasta man, they're not gonna hear that. I'm doing it for the music.
What I'm saying is the game done fucked up. The game done changed. Do you know what I mean? You know? I'm not gonna, anyway, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna say it. There's a man running around with supposedly $250,000. Do you know what I mean? Now, back in the day, certain people would be like, where is this motherfucker? You get me? Just line him up. Just try and hold him. Let's talk to this guy. We need to see this guy. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, man just happy to say they know a guy who knows him. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro? And these are men who are supposed to be out here doing the damn thing. Are you with me? 100%. So the game's changed, bro. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. The game has changed. People, how they view things and how people see things, it's all upside down. It's crazy. Do you get what I mean? And you wouldn't... It's like... Obviously, unless you're from it, you won't understand it because you're just thinking, what? Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you have no... Basically what I'm saying is that you couldn't tell... let me put it this way. If somebody heard right now, I'm talking about within our community, heard right now that you had 80 bags in your yard, do you know how much man would be rallying round and this one, that one, and phoning a friend and all sorts of shit would be going on? Yeah? But then you're going to hear about that Turk or that white brother or that Indian brother with the belly, and you're going to be like, yeah, I heard that man are serious. Yeah, I got one of my brethren knows him still. Mentality. So what we saying? Yeah. Not that I'm talking about myself. I'm just saying that I don't get that because I thought that's what robber man did, innit? Like they rob people. Yeah. So if you are Oh, you only got strength for your people. Okay, cool. That's cool. I understand now. That's cool. I was confused. I thought you was robbing everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? I thought you was robbing everyone. I didn't know you was only robbing people you know. Okay, cool. That's fine. No problem. People who look like you, because you can get away with robbing black people, right? Okay, cool. No comebacks from black people. All right, cool. No, that's cool. No, that's cool. That's cool. But it's whatever. But yeah, I'm not condoning fuckery either. By the way, I'm just trying to understand how the mentalities have changed. Do you get what I mean? Because like I said, it's just different. It's just different. I don't recognize it. I don't.
With all the change happening, what would you suggest people? What is the best way to think these days?
In terms of
to survive.
Oh, you mean with the whole Big C and all the rest of it?
Big C, with the different ways people are looking at each other, just everything. Moving
Okay.
forward.
In the famous words of Dave Chappelle, Africa. But outside of that, mate, I was having this conversation the other day. If you in the ting, then just stay in the ting, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? And stop trying to pretend like you're a rebel and you're out here fighting for the revolution. You get what I'm saying? And all of that. Just take the vaccination and stop the foolishness. You get what I'm saying? And just do your bit for the society that you're repping. You understand what I'm saying? Outside of that, if you are actually out here trying to, rep your own thing, or you got a little bit of rebel in you and you're trying to see what's what and rah, then obviously, yeah, do what works for you, isn't it? We've all got to do what makes us feel comfortable. I can't tell you to vaccinate. I can't tell you not to vaccinate. Do you understand? Everyone's going to do what makes them feel comfortable, what's best for them. Do you get me? But what I don't like is people making people feel bad or trying to guilt trip people for doing what's best for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know somebody who's over 60 with heart problems and blah, 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 and they've taken the vaccination. I know somebody over 60 with heart problems, diabetes, and all sorts, and they're not taking the vaccine. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying to one they're right and the other they're wrong, and I'm not trying to convince one to take it, and I'm not trying to tell the other one don't take it. Do you get what I mean? You got to do what's best for you. It's your life, innit? At the end of the day, you got to choose how you see. Yeah, it's the same with wearing a mask, innit? If you want to wear a mask in the car on your own, and it makes you feel lovely and safe, that's more power to you, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? If that's how you feel, do you get what I'm saying? I can't tell you how to feel, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Just like if you want to be in a room full of 5 man and just go through with no mask and you feel comfortable with that, cool, no problem. Go through, bro. It's up to you, innit? You do what you do, innit? At the end of the day. But ultimately, what I would say is Africa. You know what I'm saying? No, but seriously, and whatever your Africa is, when I say that, what I mean is, like, start looking outside of wherever you're at, because wherever you're at must be a problem if you're even having to think that way. Because I'm talking to people in the West Indies, I'm talking to people in Africa, I'm even talking to people in like New Zealand and places, and they're like not having any of this problem. They're not where we are with it mentally, and that's because of what's going on in the country. Do you get what I mean? Which shows you that the virus is being used, or I shouldn't say used, but the virus is being controlled in a completely different way. Do you get what I'm saying? It's being controlled in a completely different way, and that's affecting everything. Mental health, finance, all sorts of things. So, again, like you said, it raises more questions than answers. You just have to ask yourself what's going on, why, and all that kind of stuff. But just do what you need to do. Huh?
As advice to people, find a focus.
Yeah, definitely. As it relates to just like coping with the lockdown, then man, you have to find your interests. You have to exercise. That's definitely one of them things you have to do. You have to exercise, and again, like I say, you don't have to be like no mad crazy exercise. It could just be walking. You'd be surprised how a walk can clear your mind. You know what I'm saying? Just walk from wherever to wherever and then walk back. Then one's there. It sounds stupid, but it's stuff you wouldn't have done before. Do you get what I mean? But now you've got the time to do it. Do you get what I mean? Whether it be whatever. Do you know what I mean? Riding a bike. Whatever you do, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever you can do. Because obviously there's certain things that are closed and whatnot. But whatever you can do, I would say, yeah, definitely.
Yes, okay.
Definitely. Probably just, that's it, man. Exercise. Keep your mind positive. Try and eat as healthily as you can. It's hard, but if you're at home, lockdown, then you should be cooking for yourself, innit? So just try and eat as clean as you can. Try and do a little bit of something. Get out, get some fresh air, open the windows as well. That's another thing. Don't just be coop up in your house, laying down, watching Netflix and that, man. Do you know what I mean? No, because some man's yard, you'd be surprised, but you walk up in there, it's It's frowsy, bruv. You get what I'm saying? Man ain't open a window, man ain't nothing, bruv. Man just sweating. You know what I mean? Man's not even getting in the shower, bruv. Barely eating. You know, anyone's there, man, roll out of bed, go to the fridge, come back. You know, anyone's there, roll out of bed, go to the toilet, come back. It's like, bruv, you gotta sort it out, man, seriously. But I get it though, because a lot of people, they're on their own. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're on your own, some people find it hard to do stuff just for themselves. Like, I'm a bit like that myself, do you know what I mean? I find it hard to cook just for myself. Yeah. But if you came to my house, I'd cook up bits, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I mean? But if it's just me, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? So I get that, but yeah, this is the time where you gotta have a little bit of drive. Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for the people who don't have any drive. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Like, if you just got a real low drive, I feel sorry for you right now, because this is a time where you need to be self-motivated. You need to pick yourself up. Do you know what I mean? There's not many people who are going to come and get you up for something. You got to raise your spirit. You got to jump. That's it. Yeah, come. Especially with all the bad news as well. That's another thing I'm realizing. A lot of people getting bad news back to back, and because of the situation, and they can't go to funerals and this one, that one. There's a lot of people, like I said, mental health, man, depression. Do you get what I'm saying? And all these things, it's hitting people hard. Do you get what I'm saying? And obviously, we're not used to dealing with it. Dealing with it meaning as in like actually dealing with it, talking about it, putting it out there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because again, let's just be real. Most of us don't trust the people who are around us. And it sounds horrible to say that, but that's really the reality. That's why you're not going to tell them your deepest, darkest, because you're just thinking, nah, man. And man, they might use it against me if we fall out. See, that is the mindset of a lot of people. And it sounds horrible, but that is really, and that's family. It's not even just friends. That's family as well. Think about that. Man's looking at their family member. Man's dying, bruv, but he would never ever let them know for 1 minute, because of, in his mind, the satisfaction they would get from knowing he's in that situation. That tells you everything you need to know. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, you got family members who plotting on your downfall. You got family members who see things in you don't even see in yourself, and they hate you for it. You didn't even know until you get older. Do you know what I mean? Just like certain man, they grow up, they didn't even know. Oh, the reason why you hate me is because of my dad. But I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know the story. I didn't know he used to be with my auntie before he was with my mum. I didn't know that. But that's why that auntie hates me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know. Do you get what I'm saying? But now it makes sense why she used to treat me like that when I used to go to her yacht. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, these are the things that people live with every day. It's just normal stuff in our community. It's not nothing, but people don't talk about it. Do you get what I'm saying? But we deal with the consequences of those things every day. So that's what I'm saying. You have splinter cells. Like, so you'll have a family that's split up into 3 sections. The bougie side, the ghetto side that got left out, and then the side that kind of fucks with everyone but don't want to pick sides, so just stays out of it, sitting on the fences. Do you get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And as soon as I say that, you kind of already know what side you fit in your own family. Does that make sense? And not just in your family, but on your dad's side and your mum's side. So on your dad's side, you might be part of the bougie side because he's part of the family with a bougie, you know what I mean? But on your mum's side, you might be the down and out dashware because of her thing with a, so it just depends. But everybody knows what side they sit on, because every family's got their divides. Do you get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So what are you saying? We're going to wrap up?
Yeah, man.
You wrapping up?
Good one, man. Very informative, man.
Yeah, we whizzed through this one today, man. But again, like I said, man, I was on a different energy today, different thing today. Yeah. Keep it short and sweet, man. Keep it short and sweet, man. Yeah. Keep it short and sweet, man.
It didn't feel that long.
Yeah, no. I just went to whiz through it today. I had a few things, and I didn't even want to go too far into them as well. That's another thing. But yeah, man. Unsubscribe, unfollow, dislike, all of that good stuff. We're out. Rap.